I was talking about how to find out heat energy, and formula I gave as m dot f into CV. Sometimes this CV, in some textbook they write HV. Okay, so see, if you analyze them in detail, then this is so I was saying in science they write m and m dot. This m is just mass, but this m dot means mass per second. It means it is flowing. This mass is not flowing mass. For example, with the spring, when mass is attached, so it is a simple mass m. Here you cannot write m dot. But if there is any pipe, any engine, anything in which fuel is flowing, that time you cannot discuss mass, because it will not make any sense, because your mass is not stationary. So you will use m dot. M dot means every second how much kg is flowing. It can be any combustion chamber, any engine, anything. So currently we are dealing with engine cycles. So there your fuel is not stationary, it is flowing, and every second the fuel is flowing. So that's why we are using m dot. So what will be the unit of this? Kg per second. And what is the unit of this? CV is calorific value. That calorific value, what just now I wrote for kerosene, it was 40 megajoule per kg. It means if you burn 1 kg, you'll be getting 40 megajoule heat. Okay. But again, you are getting 40 or not, it depends on your burning process. So it is nothing but it will be in joule per kg, right? Mega I'm not adding because mega is just a size. It is not the main SI unit. So kg and kg will get cancelled. HV means heating value. Either you say calorific value or heating value, it depends. Anything, both are correct. So finally you are getting joule per second. Joule per second. Now see, this joule per second is nothing but watt, W-A-T-T, and watt is the unit of power. So whatever energy, heat energy you are going to get, or work energy you are going to get, or any energy you are going to get, everything is based on m dot. That's why final answer will not come as joule. Final answer will come as watt. So here you may say that you are going to achieve heat energy, but reality is you are achieving that heat energy per second. That's why actually it is a power. So in efficiency formula, output and input, they are nothing but automatically in terms of power, right? Okay, so now I am ready to tell you efficiency formula, thermal efficiency formula. So that is nothing but indicated power divided by m dot f into CV. This m dot f CV is nothing but the fuel power, like how much power fuel is having, or you can say the how much heat fuel can give you. Okay, now you go for brake thermal efficiency, eta brake thermal efficiency. So that is nothing but brake power divided by same m dot f into CV. So it is a ratio of brake power to the rate of heat energy. Then we go for brake thermal efficiency. Sorry. Brake thermal done. Now we go for mechanical efficiency. So in mechanical efficiency, we divide brake power with indicated power. So brake power with indicated power. That is nothing but if you multiply this efficiency and this efficiency, no, sorry, not multiply. If you divide like this, suppose this is equation 1 and equation 2, you have to get brake power in the numerator and indicated power in the denominator. So you divide in such a way that equation 2 divided by equation 1. It means eta brake power, efficiency brake thermal, and efficiency indicated thermal. Okay. Now we can go for Lenoir cycle. So let's start another cycle, Lenoir cycle. So see guys, if you recall my first idea on cycles, then I said in this trick, add LOC trick, every cycle is containing four processes. But I said that your dual cycle contains 5 cycles. That's why for Lenoir cycle we give 3 cycles. It is just a trick. So in Lenoir cycle we have 3 cycles. What are those three cycles? So first we understand the cycles. So first I will write the name. You have, okay, first I will draw PV diagram. First I will go like this, and then I will go like this, and then I will come like this. Okay, now here you can see volume is constant, here you can see pressure is constant, and here heat transfer is 0. So name is heat you are adding at constant volume. So where is your, sorry, I think I have done wrong. This is your constant pressure, this is your constant volume. This is your volume constant, this is your pressure constant, because pressure line is this, right? On this line pressure is not increasing, on this line volume is not increasing. So that was my mistake. Now see, in pressure constant and in volume constant, you have to, somewhere you have to add heat, somewhere you have to remove heat, okay, and somewhere you have to go for expansion. So see, we are going like this, 1 2 3. So your 1 to 1 to 2, 1 to 2, what is happening? 1 to 2 we have to add heat. No, I should not draw one here, just a minute. I should draw one here, 2 3. So 1 to 2 we are adding heat, here we are adding heat, heat is going into the picture, into the system, and then here heat is coming out. So see, you can see what will be the name of the process. Can you guess the name of the process? Here 1 to 2, guys, try. Very good, very good, very good. Isochoric heat addition, perfect word. You can say constant volume heat addition, or you can say isochoric heat addition. So, and because we are doing Lenoir cycle, so you should know in Lenoir cycle where do we use this cycle. So it can be a 1 mark question. Pulse jet engine, pulse jet engine, we use Lenoir cycle. Okay, now see, first is clear, constant volume. On constant volume we are adding heat, so what formula you will use? Q is equal to mcv dt. Next, I am writing del T here, no problem, del T dt, anything is fine. Then you go for reversible adiabatic isentropic expansion. I mean reversible adiabatic, or you say isentropic. Here you have expansion because volume is increasing, like this. Expansion, so volume is increasing. And remember, when volume is increasing, temperature will decrease, because you are not supplying heat, so there is no chance of increment in the temperature. Anyway, because it is reversible, so we will not talk about friction. No friction, there is no cause to produce irreversibility. And because it is adiabatic, so there is no heat transfer. So because of irreversibility, there is no chance of change in entropy. Adiabatic, so because of no heat transfer, so there is no chance of entropy change. So it means that's why it is isentropic process. So now same process, let's draw on TS diagram. On TS diagram, so see, 1 to 2 there is heat addition. So how will you draw constant volume process in 1 to 2? Just now we have done constant volume process in dual cycle, it was like this, 1 to 2, and after that 2 to 3 you have isentropic. So isentropic, you should come down because temperature is decreasing, and after that pressure is constant. So how do we draw constant pressure line? So constant pressure line we used to draw like curve line, you remember? So this is your pressure constant line, and this is your volume constant line, and this is your entropy constant line. Okay, so at volume constant you are adding the heat, at constant pressure you are removing the heat. In this part, heat interaction is 0. Okay, so this is your Lenoir cycle. In Lenoir cycle, you have efficiency formula. Same idea is same. Efficiency is nothing but output by input. Everything I have given in PDF, so no problem. Now output, how will you bother? Output is at constant pressure. So you know, at constant pressure, the formula for the constant pressure is Q is equal to mCp delta T, and in case of input, if you check, input is happening at constant volume, so it will be mCv delta T. Okay, now see, here one mistake. If you are talking about output, we are not talking about the heat output, we are talking about the work done. Always work done is your output, so that is nothing but Q in minus Q out. So for the Q in, you have this formula at constant volume. For the Q out, you have this formula. Subtract both the formulas, so you will be getting W net. So this is actually W net, and then divide by input. Input is your work, heat input. Always remember, whenever you are doing any cycle, your output is always your work done. And what is your work done? It is always Q in minus Q out. Always, any kind of cycle you draw, any kind of cycle. Okay, and your input is nothing but Q in, because finally to achieve this work, you are giving this much heat. Okay, so in case of Reynolds cycle, when you remember the efficiency formula, your efficiency formula, because proof I have given, so your efficiency formula of Reynolds cycle will finally come as 1 minus gamma bracket Rp power 1 by gamma minus 1, and then Rp power minus 1. So efficiency you should remember directly for all the cycles. So this is efficiency for Reynolds cycle. So you can see here, your Reynolds cycle efficiency is the function of Rp and gamma. Okay, now we go for Stirling cycle. Stirling cycle is again, see, if I will draw PV diagram. So actually Stirling cycle is very easy, very similar. First you go like this, and then you go like this, and then you go like this, and then you go like this. Now I'll give the name. Here actually temperature is constant this time. Here you have temperature constant, and then 1 2 3 4. So see, here you will add the heat. It is similar. Now see, here you have Q rejection. See what is happening in Otto cycle. In Otto cycle, if you can recall, what are the processes happening in Otto cycle? In Otto cycle, actually in Otto cycle, heat is not being added at constant constant temperature, right? In Otto cycle, we add heat at constant volume. So if the same graph you will draw for Otto cycle, then at constant so first you will compress. Okay, this compression itself is not isothermal. You can see here 1 to 2 you are compressing, then it is isothermal. So okay, but here this was your Otto cycle diagram, PV diagram. This was your Otto cycle diagram. Okay, so now for this cycle, we will see how to work out. Anyway, whenever your temperature is constant, do you think when you supply the heat, temperature will increase? Actually, you may feel as a simple, like in one shot, like okay, when we supply heat, temperature will increase, but it is not the case. There are so many ways, like when you supply heat, temperature may not increase, temperature may increase, temperature may decrease. So if temperature is increasing or decreasing, sorry, I mean to say, when you supply heat, temperature may increase or may be constant. If temperature is increasing, then you will apply formula Q is equal to ms delta T, where this S can be either Cp, Cv, anything. But if you are talking about temperature constant, then it means definitely that heat is doing something else. It means that heat is useful to change the phase. So if the phase is not changing, then temperature will change. If temperature is not changing, then phase will change. Okay. This is the work of heat. Role of heat. So see, in a Stirling cycle, we are supplying heat at constant temperature, and heat is coming out at again constant temperature. And cycle direction will be this. Now see, let's work out. Let's draw TS diagram also first. In TS diagram, 1 to 2, what is happening? Constant temperature. So, and volume is decreasing. So you should draw constant temperature line like this. You can feel, because heat is coming out, so that's why entropy will decrease. That's why I am going in left direction. So this is my 1, this is my 2. And after that, in 2 to 3, your volume is constant. So on TS diagram, volume constant line we draw like this. Volume is constant. And then again 3 to 4, your temperature is constant. So again you will be getting a constant temperature line. And then again you have 4 to 1 constant volume line. So constant volume line is like this. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 we got. So here we are supplying the heat, and here the heat is coming out. So there is something called regeneration. I will explain what is regeneration later. And there is something called regeneration. So in case of regeneration, whatever heat is being supplied between this 3 to 4, the same heat will come out here, 4 to 1. So I have to teach regeneration, that I am not teaching now. There is something called regeneration, heat exchanger. All these things I have to teach in separate video, in separate class. So first I will give you efficiency of this. So see, you should know how entropy change you can find out in constant temperature and in constant volume. So for that already I have given you, like you can see here to here entropy is being changed. So I have given you 3 formula of change in entropy. One was in terms of temperature pressure, temperature volume and pressure volume. So currently you can use from here to here your temperature is constant. So either you use this formula or you use this formula to find out your change in entropy. So because entropy formulas should be ready, those 3 formulas. Now you can go for the efficiency. How to talk about efficiency? Efficiency is really very simple. Same, you have to go for eta. Eta is nothing but output. Output divided by input. What is your output? Output is nothing but work divided by Q input. What is your work? Work is nothing but Q input minus Q output divided by your Q input. Again you can replace, divide both. So 1 minus Q output by Q input. That's all. Now Q output and Q input formula we should remember. Remember in the sense we should know how to find out the formula. That's all. Now very popular, we can talk about Carnot cycle. Carnot cycle is very easy cycle. In case of Carnot cycle, how many types of processes are there? So I will change the page for the Carnot cycle. Carnot cycle. So very quickly, it is very famous cycle, and already we have discussed in the fundamental about the Carnot cycle. So directly you just go for the TS diagram. It looks like this, 1 to 2 heat rejection, and then 2 to 3, then 3 to 4 you have heat addition, and then 4 to 1 again. So you can see here, this is entropy constant. This is entropy constant. I mean this process and this process, entropy constant. But here your temperature is constant, heat addition. Here your temperature is constant, heat rejection. So how will you give the name? isothermal heat addition, isothermal heat rejection. And what is the name here? Temperature is increasing in this direction. It means it is compression. What kind of compression? Isentropic compression. It means reversible adiabatic compression. Same goes here. Here your temperature is decreasing, so it means here you are getting expansion. What kind of expansion? Isothermal expansion. Now we can check how to find out the efficiency again. So here, to find out Carnot efficiency, it is very easy. Your efficiency for the Carnot already I have taken. It is nothing but your T minimum by T maximum. This is the efficiency formula for the Carnot cycle. You can consider, suppose in the Carnot cycle temperatures are given. Suppose minimum temperature of the Carnot cycle is given as suppose 20 degrees Celsius, and suppose maximum temperature is given as 500 degrees Celsius, and they will ask the efficiency of Carnot engine. So how will you solve? Very easy. You go for efficiency formula, 1 minus T min divided by T max. Now, what is your T min? Again remember, whatever temperatures are written in the efficiency formula in any cycle, they all are in Kelvin. Okay, so if the Celsius data is given, then convert it to Kelvin. How will you convert to Kelvin? You add 273, add 273. Okay, substitute values here and you'll be getting efficiency. That's all. Now let's understand regeneration. What is a regenerative cycle? So actually before that I should teach you there is something called heat exchanger. So after heat exchanger I will go for Ericsson and other cycles. So first let's understand what is heat exchanger. See what is heat exchanger. Actually what happens, imagine there is any compressor. Okay, this compressor will take the air and then here we will supply the fuel. So air and fuel will mix in this chamber and then we will burn them. So when you will burn them, then in this gas, hot gas, will fall to the turbine and this turbine will give you work. Okay, and imagine if the turbine is giving work, after that what will you do with this hot gas? This hot gas you have to eject from the turbine. So this hot gas what you are ejecting from the turbine, that will be having very high temperature. So that high temperature you can again reuse. How can you reuse? Whatever air is coming from here, this air you can heat up with the help of this temperature. So for that you bring these gases to heat here and then from here you eject the gases. Don't eject your gases here. So these hot gases will go using some pipe and the incoming air which is entering to the fuel chamber, in the beginning itself you can heat. So what will happen? Efficiency will increase. So this model what you are seeing here, this is a basic typical model of heat exchanger. There are several types of heat exchanger. Actually if you draw the typical diagram of heat exchanger, then it will look like this. You will be having a compressor and then compressor is used to run the turbine and from the compressor air will go. This air will go to combustion chamber and from the combustion chamber air will fall to the turbine. Okay, now this turbine will rotate and gases will and it will eject the work done. So gases you eject, in work done you eject, and you also eject the gases, but these gases are hot gases. So these hot gases you can again reuse to heat this gas, air to heat the air. So what will happen? Your efficiency will increase. So Where is heat exchanger here? So here you have to put a device. In that device, I am drawing this device here. In that device, in one direction air is coming. You can see this air is going. Air is going. And from one direction these hot gases are coming. Like they are coming like this. So you can see this hot gas and this cold gas. Here hot gas and cold gas. Heat will transfer from hot gas to the cold gas. So heat exchange is happening from hot gas to cold gas. That's why this device is known as heat exchanger. Very simple. So we can improve our efficiency by using heat exchanger. Okay, now we can go for another cycle, Erikson cycle. So in case of Erikson cycle, two constant temperature, or you can say isothermal, and two constant pressure, or you can say isobaric processes are there. Let's understand them on PV diagram. So this is my PV diagram. I am talking about Erikson cycle. So first what will happen? Suppose you are here. So from 1 to 2, you will add the heat, and this heat you will add at temperature constant. It means isothermal heat addition. And then 2 to 3 you will go at pressure constant. When you have pressure constant, that time your volume will keep on increasing. You can see volume is increasing in this direction. Then you will reach to 0.3. Then again you will reject the heat out. So you got 4. So constant temperature and isothermal, constant pressure, you can say isobaric. So where you are supplying heat and where the heat is going out, those portions should be clear. Let's draw the same diagram on TS diagram. So on TS diagram, 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, then 3 to 4, then 4 to 1. You can see this is your pressure constant line, this is your pressure constant line, and here your temperature constant line, and here 3 to 4. So one thing I have done mistake here. Actually 3 to 4 we supply heat. 3 to 4 we supply heat, and here heat will come out. So actually direction is opposite. Here heat will come out, here you have to supply the heat. So see, the way I am doing mistake here, in same way you can also do mistake. So that's why we should remember the process well. So now we go for okay, Erikson cycle over. Now we go for Brayton cycle. I will change the page. Actually what happens in Brayton cycle, it is like exactly like Carnot cycle. When you have Erikson cycle, it is actually exactly like Carnot cycle. So that time we use same Carnot cycle formula for Erikson cycle, and now we'll go for Brayton. But before that, Brayton is easy, so first we'll take Atkinson. First I will tell you Atkinson, then we'll go for Brayton. Actually your Atkinson cycle is, suppose on PV diagram, if you will draw the Otto cycle, so 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and you are here 1, 2, 3, 4. See, actually I am teaching Atkinson cycle, but first I am drawing Otto cycle. What happens, we try to go to the, like when you are going 3 to 4, right, here you are rejecting, adding the heat in Otto cycle, and here you are rejecting the heat. This is what our Otto cycle is. But Atkinson cycle is like modified Otto cycle. Modified Otto cycle means this point we shift as max as possible till here. It means this pressure and this pressure we make same. So you can say 4 dash. So this extra addition will give you extra area, so extra work. So Atkinson cycle will give you extra work because in the cycle area under the cycle of PV diagram will give you work done. So Otto is giving only this much, but if you are making this point here, so this much extra work you are getting. So Atkinson cycle is nothing but Otto cycle converted into Atkinson cycle. What kind of conversion we have? This point is shifting here. So that's all. Only this much is there in the cycle, and you have to do all the PDFs